Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert, and I am so pleased to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey. Today, we're going to dive deep into the strategy that separates the good hotels from the truly great ones, how to define your value, manage your growth, and build a lasting advantage. Let's get right into it. You know, at the heart of every single booking, every event contract, every decision a guest makes, it all boils down to this one simple question. In a market that's absolutely crowded with options, how you answer this is everything. It will literally define your success or your failure. So, how do we answer it? How do we give a powerful, convincing answer? Well, the tool we use is the value proposition. And let me be clear, this isn't just some fluffy marketing slogan. It's the very core of your hotel strategy. It's the promise you make to every single guest. Let's break that down. A value proposition is how you strategically express the way you create, deliver, and communicate real value to a specific kind of guest. And that word specific is so important. It's the bridge that connects what your hotel offers to what your ideal guest truly deeply needs. Think about who you're actually talking to. A generic statement like, a luxury 5-star experience. I mean, what does that even mean? It's forgettable. It could apply to anyone. But a targeted promise, something like seamless tech for high-stakes corporate events, now that creates an instant connection. It tells that specific guest, hey, we understand you. And that's the difference between just being another option and becoming the only choice. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Awareness is fine. It might get people to notice you. But conviction is what gets you booked. A targeted proposition builds that conviction by telling a specific person, we were made for you. That's the goal, right there. Okay, so how do we actually build one of these powerful propositions? Well, it all starts with a shift in perspective. We have to stop looking at things from inside our own hotel and start seeing everything through the eyes of our guests. A really effective proposition has 4 key ingredients. First, it has to be rooted in genuine insight into what your guests want, not just what you think they want. It has to be relevant to their top priorities, it needs to be communicated with absolute clarity, and of course, it has to be consistent with your brand promise at every single touchpoint. Let's look at what some of those priorities might be. For a corporate event planner, their #1 priority is reliability. And that's not just a word. It means the AV works flawlessly, the coffee is on time, and your staff can solve any problem in an instant. Why? Because their professional reputation is on the line, and your reliability is what protects it. Now let's switch gears to a high-end leisure traveler. Their priority might be something totally different, like prestige. See, they're not just buying a room for the night, they're investing in an experience, in a brand they can associate with, in a feeling of exclusivity. Your value proposition has to speak to that desire for status. And what about that business traveler who's always on a tight schedule, the road warrior? For them, it's all about efficiency. A quick mobile check-in, super fast Wi-Fi, a great workspace in the room. These are the little things that save them time and reduce their stress. That's what makes your hotel the logical, no-brainer choice. So the big takeaway here is learning to translate your hotel's features into guest outcomes. You don't just have soundproofed meeting rooms, you offer confidential, high-impact board meetings. You don't just have 24/7 room service, you offer your guests productivity on their schedule. You have to sell the why it matters, not just the what it is. Okay, so defining our value is the first critical step. But how do we use that value to actually grow the business? Because this isn't just about filling rooms for tonight. It's about building a strong, profitable hotel that will thrive for years to come. You know, sustainable success in our industry really rests on these 3 interconnected pillars. Volume, which is basically your occupancy, value, which is your rate and what guests believe you're worth, and of course, profitability, your bottom line. The key word here is interconnected. These aren't separate goals. They're all parts of a single dynamic system. And this brings us to a really common trap: chasing volume, filling rooms at any cost, by aggressively discounting. Sure, you can see the revenue bar is high, but look at that profit bar. It's dangerously low. This kind of strategy just erodes your margins, puts a huge strain on your team, and it can absolutely damage your brand's value in the long run. Now, compare that to a sustainable strategy. This is where those 3 pillars are brought into harmony. A strong value proposition lets you attract the right volume of guests at a price point that reflects your value and delivers healthy profitability. See how each pillar supports the others? That's the foundation for long-term financial health. This balanced approach really requires a shift in how we think, moving our focus from just a single transaction to the lifetime value of a guest. Think about it. A guest who comes back time and time again, who trusts your brand, who tells their friends about you, that person is infinitely more valuable than a one-time booking you got with a huge discount. All right, let's bring this all home. Your true sustainable advantage comes from unifying your strategy, that powerful value proposition we talked about, with flawless execution across every single department of your hotel. When your value proposition is crystal clear, it acts like a North Star for all your teams. Marketing knows exactly who to attract. The sales team knows how to talk to them and what matters most. And maybe most importantly, your operations team knows exactly what promise they need to deliver on day in and day out to create that incredible guest journey. So if you take only one thing away today, please let it be this. Your value proposition is the critical link between deeply understanding your guest and effectively executing your entire business strategy. It's what turns insight into real action. And so, I'll leave you with this question to carry forward. With every market segment you serve, with every decision you make in your career, I want you to ask yourself, how will you, as a future leader in this amazing industry, communicate real, meaningful, and convincing value?